Food stamps set to expire this Saturday, the latest program to face funding hurdles during the government shutdown. More than 40 million Americans, roughly 1 in 8 people, could lose their benefits at the end of the month. Let's bring in the Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, for more on this. Madam Secretary, thank you for being with us. Appreciate your time. So when you said you were in Pebble Beach, I thought you were in California. You're there in the Pebble Beach in front of the White House. Here's what the USDA said about the looming deadline here. Senate Democrats have now voted 12 times to not fund the food stamp program, also known as the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP. Bottom line, the well has run dry. At this time, there will be no benefits issued November 1. We are approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. They can continue to hold out for health care for illegal aliens and gender mutilation procedures, or reopen the government so mothers, babies, and the most vulnerable among us can receive critical nutrition assistance. All that said, though, comes to a point, Madam Secretary, when people really start to hurt, that their attitude doesn't become one of blaming one side or the other. It's more a pox on both of your houses.
You know, hunger doesn't have a political party, right? Poverty doesn't distinguish between Republican or Democrat or blue or red states. It's real. And I think that the fact that the Democrats continue to vote over and over and over again to keep this government closed. Now we are right at the cliff. And I've been warning about this for almost a month now, that we have enough money to get us through the end of October. But after that, the government has to reopen. And John, that's where we are right now. It is stunning to me. I don't understand what they're thinking. Well, I guess we know what they're thinking, because Catherine Clark in their leadership actually said, you know, we're going to use poor, vulnerable people for leverage. I mean, shame on them. It's absolutely disgusting. And hopefully we get this government open. But there's nothing we can do at this point. It's time to vote yes and get things moving again.
Well, you know, there are lawsuits to stop this from happening and concerns over people going hungry. The New York State Attorney General Letitia James said in a statement, SNAP is one of our nation's most effective tools to fight hunger, and the USDA has the money to keep it running. This is either it does or it does not statement. So, Madam Secretary, does the USDA have the money to keep this program should you choose to, or has the well truly run dry?
100% unequivocally, USDA does not have the $9.2 billion that it would require. There's not just pots of $9.2 billion sitting around. And what's particularly rich about New York saying that, or California, or any of these other blue states that have filed the lawsuit that say, oh no, we're going to go, you guys, USDA, go find the money, is it's their very friends, partners, colleagues, Democrat elected officials that continue to vote over and over again to keep the government closed. Again, shame on them. I cannot begin to understand what they're thinking. Even their own union, right? Even their own federal government employee union, I don't know the exact name, is urging their own Democratic leaders to open the government back up. Listen, Chuck Schumer's getting paid. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is getting paid, but our air traffic controllers not getting paid. Our food stamp recipients are not going to get their benefit beginning Saturday. Our law enforcement, those that are keeping us safe, not getting paid. It's just, it's unbelievable, and I've never seen anything like this. It's surely they're going to change their mind and vote to open any day now.
American Federation of Government Employees is the union that's imploring the Democrats to sign a clean CR. It doesn't look like the Democrats are going to take the advice, though they have, according to Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, taken it under advisement. I want to ask you about another issue, not dealing with the shutdown, Madam Secretary, and this is the proposal that the president has been talking about to bring in some 80,000 metric tons of beef from Argentina to try to get prices down. There's obviously a shrunken cattle supply here, which is the reason why prices here are going up. But a lot of these ranchers are feeling betrayed. Destiny Weeks, an Oklahoma rancher, said this: it feels like a slap in the face to rural America. It makes you feel invisible and overlooked. And Justin Tappers, the president of the U.S. Cattlemen's Association, said a deal of this magnitude with Argentina would undercut the very foundation of our cattle industry. What do you say to cattle producers in this country?
Yeah, there's a lot of frustration on both sides. This president has made it very, very clear that his promise to bring the cost of living, cost of goods down, beef continues to go up. But then you marry that with you said it, John, we've got the lowest herd in 75 years. And there's a lot of reasons for that: drought, the screw-worm at the border, we've had to close the ports, et cetera. But listen, those goals are not mutually exclusive. And just last week, we released a 19-point plan on how we rebuild the herd and what needs to happen to do that. The Argentina comment right now, we consume 12 million metric tons of beef every single year in America. 2 million of that 12 million we have long imported. So the idea of importing a little bit more Argentinian beef from about 20,000 metric tons to 40,000 or maybe 60,000 out of the total 12 million will not do anything to compromise our ability to rebuild that cattle herd. For anyone to say, and again, knowing the frustration that's there, but there has been no one who has been more resolute, who has been more passionate about supporting rural America, about supporting our farmers and our ranchers than Donald Trump. And we see that over and over and over again. We'll get to a good resolution on this. I've already talked to a lot of our ranchers. We feel really good about the direction that we're heading. We're going to bring the cost of beef down, and we're also going to make sure we can expand the herd and continue supporting these great American ranchers who really are the fabric of American life.
Yeah, to be clear, just some of the confusion I think that was caused with all of that was the president suggesting that the ranchers bring their prices down, and the ranchers said, you know, this is the market sets the price of the beef. They don't control the price. I'll give you a final thought on that.
Yeah, well, here's the bottom line. In America, we have not a cattle ranching problem. We actually do have a processing problem. We have 4 major companies, 2 are foreign owned, that process about 85% of our beef in this country. We have to open the market to the smaller processors around the country, get the food closer to the processing. It'll be healthier that way to begin with. We can open it up. We take off the regulation. We make it cheaper to do so. And again, we bring the cost of beef down while making sure these ranchers can continue to be profitable.
Got it. All right, Madam Secretary, thank you so much.
Ground
Thank
beef
y'all
at an
very
all-time
much.
high, average $6.23 a pound. That's a lot of money for a lot of people. Madam Secretary, thanks. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, John, so much.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.